All right, we've gone over 3 coordinate systems this year. We have absolute, relative, and polar. So absolute is what you're used to with just regular math graphing. So for example here, my triangle, if I wanted to plot the points to it, I would have to start at my origin. So since the origin is 0, 0, I would count x and y to determine where each point is. So x is our horizontal, vertical is our y. So to find this point here, I'm going to have to go over in the x and then up in the y. So to do that, I've got to go over 2 and up 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So my first point would be 2, 2. Now, my second point, I need to go all the way to this end. So again, I'm counting from the origin. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'd be 7, comma, and I'm still up 2. Okay, that's not a decimal, so please don't get confused. All right, so now to get to the top, it's that same process again. It's always x then y. I have to count over in the x. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be 7, comma, y, which is vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. And then my last point to get back down here again would just be 2, 2 again, because it's just over 2, up 2. Right, so that's absolute. Absolute is just x, comma, y, just like your regular math class. Now, relative is where it gets a little bit different, but it's less counting, which is nice. Okay, so relative, like if you're thinking of in terms of your relatives, it's who you're related to. So the coordinate system for this is still x, y, but it's related to its previous point. So now for the first point, there's no relation, there's no existing lines, so it starts at 0, 0. Okay, so, well, we're gonna count our first one from 0, 0. So from there, it's over 2 and up 2. So it's still x followed by y. So my first point would still be 2, 2 because there's nothing for it to relate to. Now, to get to this corner, you're going to count from your previous point at 2, 2. So what I mean by that is I need to find how many units in the x direction I need to travel from this location right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be 5, comma, 1, whoops, 5, comma, and then it's 0 because we're just moving over. Okay, we don't have to go up or down for the y, so it's just 5, 0. In relative, as long as you have a straight line, one of the numbers will be 0. It'll be a 0y if it's horizontal, it'll be a 0x if it's vertical. So for instance, this line here, x is always side to side, y is vertical. So x, we don't have to go side to side in order to reach this point. We just have to go straight up. So I don't have to go to the left, I don't have to go to the right, so it's 0. Now to go up, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to that point. So it's 0, 5. Now, the disadvantage of relative is anytime you move to the left, that's going to be a negative x. Anytime you go down, it's going to be a negative y. So keep that in mind. So now when I do this point, I need to figure out how far over in the x and how far over in the y I would need to travel to get back down to this point. So x would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be negative 5, comma. Okay, so that would be from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be negative 5, negative 5. Okay, now that's just like, again, regular math class. Anywhere left to the origin on the x is negative. Anywhere below the origin on the y is negative. All right, last one, polar. Okay, with polar, You're traveling at a distance, and you have to tell it at what angle that distance needs to be drawn at. Okay, so our standard distances, it's just like if we pulled out a protractor in math class. We have 0 if we're traveling right, 90 if we're traveling up, 180, and 270. So those are all degrees. If you think of it, a 360 in terms of like skateboarding or snowboarding, that's when they make a full rotation. Same concept. There's 360 degrees in a circle. Okay, so we're traveling, we have to be able to make one full revolution. Okay. So to get to your first point, since we have nothing to plot it off of, we still need to start at the origin for this one. So our first point would be 2, 2. But from there, this is where we start adding in polar coordinates. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would be traveling 5. So that's going to be our distance. So it'd be at 5. Less than. At 5 less than. Since I'm going to the right, that's going to be 0 degrees. So that's 0. All right. Now I need to go vertical. First, I need to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to go up, it's going to be at 5. I need to go 5 units up, but up is 90 degrees. So it's less than 90. Now, truly, you would have to find the hypotenuse of this line because you can't count grid lines. So what, all right, so this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So it would be 45 degrees. In your CAD drawing is always going to tell you that. It's 45 degrees going down. Now, if we were gonna draw a line at that negative degrees, well, it's not a negative degree, but if we were gonna draw a line going down to the left, it needs, the value we type in needs to be between 180 and 270. So if we add 45 to 180, we get 225. So this line would be at, we'll round it to 6, less than 225. And that would take us back to this point. All right, polar is more difficult. If you have any questions about polar, let me know and I'll walk you through that one again. One side note with the relative is you have to type in the ats in front of the coordinates, because without the ats, the computer's gonna think it's an absolute point. So in order for input, you have to type in the at in front of it. So I'm sorry, I should have said that when I put the points down on the paper. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know.